Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening to me from around the world. This is JFI Radio Live, and I'm your host, Yousepha Fawcett, and I'm broadcasting to you around the world live from the UK. Now, if I'm sounding a little bit croaky this morning, yes, one of the hazards of doing public speaking, training, teaching, and broadcasting is that if you get a bit of a cold on your throat, it makes a big difference. So, please excuse me. I've got my water here. I shall make sure that I keep myself well lubricated to make sure that I don't spoil the show, but I might have the odd cough here and there. So you'll just have to understand. But I know you all will, because some of you are coming back every single week to support me and to listen and to perhaps share with yourselves and with me a little more about business training and about lifelong learning, about education and AI learning tech, about human resources, about quality improvement, about business excellence. And as ever, I search around the globe for the latest news to bring to you all about these areas and whet your appetite to find out a little bit more. Now, let me just change that ticker for you straight away and say to you that if you go to my main website, which is jfiradio.com, and you scroll down, there's a big blue button and it says news links and replays, and you will find all the links to the news that is reported today. So that just a little shout out. Also, yes, I've got the ticker up there that just says to you, please subscribe. I am up to 50 subscribers. I know, I'm so excited. I know that in the world of influences is not very high, but 50 in 4 weeks? I'll take that. Thank you. So, what have I been up to this week? Well, it's been a slightly quieter week, which I have to say is good because, here we go, hold on. I knew this would happen. Excuse me. I had a quieter week simply because the last few weeks have been absolutely hectic. So there was something really exciting that happened to me though on Monday, and I have a feeling that I am going to be sharing information about this again and again and again, because I have just started in a new part-time faculty role at Stratford College of Esports in East London. Now, if you've never heard of esports, I have to be honest, neither had I. Neither had I really, before a few weeks ago, I think it was. And obviously, I don't know a great deal about this particular field, about gaming and esports generally, but I'm a quick learner and I'm curious. And I started teaching all around personal development on their undergraduate programs, and the students are just lovely. So if you are listening, because some of the students wanted the URL for YouTube, if you're listening on YouTube, hello. Yes, this is me. I'm Yousepha, and your tutor. And if you are any of my faculty listening, it has been a real pleasure to get to know you on Monday. And even though I'm not there with you next Monday, I'm with you the Monday after that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you again. Oh, and I have to tell you, I have to tell all of you listening to JFI Radio, I am absolutely blown away by the rooms because of course, because it's a gaming, esports is predominantly gaming. What you've got, these learning zones, and the rooms are all dark, and they've got this wonderful flashing lights, because of course all the consoles and the keyboards, they're all flashing. I am in seventh heaven. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to carry on doing my work, because I think I'm actually going to enjoy learning a little bit more about gaming. Oh, this could so be my thing, but let's wait and see. So that was an incredibly exciting start to my week. And then during the week, I have spent time with my lovely colleague, and this is a big shout out for you, Nkechi, because I know you're listening over in Port Harcourt in Nigeria. Nkechi is the HR solutions boss, and the HR solutions boss, and she literally helps companies with their HR issues, and she and I are cooking up a few really good ideas, aren't we, Nkechi? We are planning to bring some very exciting news to you here on JFI Radio, and also over to Nigeria as well, over the coming few months. So, Nkechi, good morning to you. And we had a wonderful discussion this week. Now, the other exciting thing that I'm going to be doing today, and it really makes for an incredibly lovely end to the week, is I'm having my first and probably only Christmas lunch. And this is with my professional buddy, Dr. Linda Shaw. Now, Linda, I'm not sure if you're listening to this. You are incredibly busy, I know, with clients, and she is an eminent neuroscientist, and I just love her to bits. And she has been my professional buddy for a good 10 years. So I'll tell you a little bit more about our lunch in a moment. But I suppose what's interesting to talk to you about this morning is, do you have a professional buddy? Do you know what one is? Well, it's someone that you can trust to share anything about work, knowing that you're going to get an honest and fair response. You might get guidance. You'll definitely get an empathic ear. And so I thought maybe it'd be quite useful this week to talk to you a little bit about the value of professional mentoring and buddying programs, whether you're a freelance professional or you're working inside an organization, because the two are slightly different approaches because of one thing, and that's context. And context is everything. So let's first look at people like me and Linda. We're freelance professionals and have been for a long time. And, you know, one of the hardest things to do when you work for yourself as a freelancer is maintaining some kind of human contact. Now, of course, you do that with your clients. You're always doing that. But certainly since the pandemic, the way that clients are wanting you to deliver products and deliver workshops these days tends to be not totally, but more regularly online. So it's even easier to feel incredibly isolated from the main team. And if you work on a contract basis or a part-time basis, it's really hard to stay on top of all the communication that goes with the clients anyway that you work for. This is just par for the course. So having a buddy, a professional buddy, provides a sense of connection, and it certainly helps with those times when you feel a little bit isolated. I suppose the key thing is that you connect with someone that shares your knowledge and experience up to a point. That way you can swap insights and ideas and tips, and not having to explain yourself all the time, but also use them as a good sounding board. You know, when you get a good idea, a good business idea, and you want to start something new, then it's really lovely to have that professional buddy to be able to say, look, I've got this idea. What do you think of this? How might that work? And that means finding someone who's on the same level as you, who could be a mutual support. And, they're there and you're there for them at all times, at challenging times. Maybe you're working on a difficult project. Maybe even you're going through a phase where there are financial setbacks. One thing is for sure, as a freelancer, your income streams go up and down all the time. Sometimes you are incredibly busy, sometimes you're desperately slow. It is the nature of the beast. Now, one of the things that's worked so well between me and Linda over the last decade is having a level of accountability with each other. And that's kept us both on track. And at various times, it's kept us motivated, working towards our goals, checking on each other, giving each other a nudge every now and again. And I know that I can speak frankly to Linda, and she knows that she can speak frankly to me. And we don't feel that we're going to offend each other. And when you've got this kind of relationship, this professional relationship, it also helps with anxiety levels and is a stress buster. And, those two things, if you manage to keep those regulated, it's good for your mental health as well as your productivity. Don't misunderstand me. When you keep each other accountable, it is about getting things done. And well, if I talk about me and Linda, we're both really creative and curious, and we look out for new opportunities all the time. And we've got lots of ideas sloshing around in our heads, which is another good reason why we need to help each other make sense of it all, separating the noise from the really good ideas. So overall, a professional buddy is vital if you're a freelance professional. Now, if you work in an organization, it is slightly different. And many organizations have buddying systems and mentoring schemes, and they can help. I mean, the buddying system, I can tell you, helps with new hires. When people first come into the organization, it's the most important training that they'll ever do. And it is that induction or onboarding training. And those first 3 months are crucial. They help a new hire realize whether they've made a good choice or, shall we say, a bad choice. And it then starts to predict the way that they're going to work. Now, if you do it well, if you have a good buddying system, a good onboarding system, it can increase that employee retention in the first 6 months of their employment with you. And in some cases, there are reports that say it can be between 40 and 50%. And that's huge. Now, when it comes to inside an organization, you can be as creative with your buddying partnerships as you want. They don't have to be someone in the same department. In fact, it's probably better if you have someone in a different department and use it as a learning opportunity experience for them as well. But you can also have a buddying experience and relationship with somebody that's at a higher level than you, because all you're doing is creating different kinds of connections across boundaries, those professional boundaries. And that brings so many benefits inside an organization. I know that your onboarding is going to have policies and procedures and instruction manuals and things like that, but they don't always really govern the culture and the climate and the way people work. They just put the rules in place about this is how we do things around here. Now, if you think all of that is challenging enough, think about those that want to work in a hybrid fashion or remote working. And that's just so much part of the fabric of business these days. It's not something that's going away. If you think being a freelancer is isolating, it's really easy to feel isolated when you start a new job and people are working hybrid or remote. So you're not even meeting them in the same building. Um, so there is something here about having buddying systems and good connections right from the start. So those of you that are trainers, those of you that are organising from an HR perspective, induction and onboarding programs, have a think about incorporating a buddying system right from the start. I mean, some do structured buddying hours or virtual coffee chats maybe once a week, but they add it to face-to-face meetings as well. Nothing replaces face-to-face. And when you're in your buddying relationship, you can focus on how you feel in the organization, how you're settling in, what your department is like, where the coffee cup is, there's some of the important things when you join. Um, you can focus on the culture in the organization, but also your well-being. And all of this just helps to build confidence. There's some really good tips on this if you go to the website of my professional body, which is called CIPD, the Chartered Institute for Personnel and Development. And they have loads of articles and tips on better workforce engagement, better conversations for new starters, buddying schemes, mentoring programs. And all of this just helps deepen an understanding of the business. That's it. So back to Linda. Okay, back to Linda. We're off to our Christmas lunch today. I mentioned that earlier. I can't wait. Now, we have a regular place we go to each year. Excuse me. And we always do it before the local businesses book in to do their own Christmas lunches. Otherwise, we'd never get in there. However, sometimes we get so busy, we don't manage to book the Christmas luncheon. And one year, Linda, if you're listening, one year, do you remember, we ended up having our Christmas lunch in the summer afterwards. I mean, it was lovely, but we then got strict with ourselves and said, let's make our Christmas lunch. Because you know what, when you're a freelancer, you've got nobody to go Christmas lunching with. So professional buddy, that's what you need to do if you work for yourself. So Linda, just to remind you, I will see you at 1 p.m. at our usual place. Quick swig of water because I can feel it. I can feel the tickle in my throat, but I can also, let me go over here. Oh, Nkeche, I'm seeing the chat. Oh, hello, Nkeche. I knew you might be there. I hope you're good this morning over in Port Harcourt. And I'm excited to have you here too. Thank you so much, Nkechi. I'm pleased I caught that and saw that you were there. You might like this second topic that I'm going to approach with you, and that's all about business excellence. And this is a massive shout out to my lovely colleagues over in Dublin. And this is the shout out to the Business Excellence Institute, managed by its lovely president, John Burke, COO Neil Trainer, and Chair Yanis Lagos. They are three wonderful men that I had the great pleasure to work with in an assessment project or two in the past. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing them again in November. And I will be dressed up in my finery. I won't be wearing my JFI Radio t-shirt. I'll wear proper clothes. Why? Because I'm coming over to Dublin for what is an outstanding event. It's the celebration of the induction of 2 or 3 key people into the Business Hall of Fame. Now, what I'll do on my website, let me go back to my captions again and make sure that I pop things in so that you can see it. Okay, let me take some of this off. Sometimes, it is incredibly difficult being your sound engineer and everything else at the same time. So it's just an exciting way to do things, if you like, but it can be a little bit confusing at times if I need to make sure that I've got everything on there. And I don't know, where's my ticker gone? I'll put that one up for now, but that isn't the one that I was looking for. So maybe I have lost it. Who knows? Who knows? I'm going to check that out later while you're listening to the news. Right, let me go back to BEX, Business Excellence Institute. So Bex is doing this Hall of Fame. I'm going over to Dublin, which is really exciting. I love going to. I've only been to, I think it's one or two events, John, that I've been to before, and I've loved them every time. Gives me a chance to really dress up and get the makeup on and the hair and all the glitz and everything. But I'm also really grateful to Bex because I'm an individual member, and not only does it give me access to a wide network of business leaders and other excellence professionals, so it keeps me up to date with assessment techniques and excellence, but it also I'm greatly privileged because I was reviewed by the Bex panel and accredited by them as a recognized excellence expert. And I'm really, really grateful for that. Um, what they look at is whether you've got proven experience helping others achieve excellence and whether you can provide references and feedback from others that validate this. And it's just about saying I have a certain standard when it comes to excellence, communication. I am a subject matter expert in my own area, and I'm really willing to learn and improve my excellent skills all the time. It's a great achievement and one that I value very, very highly. Um, you know, it's strange. Excellence and quality improvement goes through phases of popularity in organizations. There are lots of reasons for that. When there's heavy investment, when there's money that can be spent and spent on quality improvement initiatives, it's usually when there's times of economic growth and the company is doing well. And unfortunately, when it's doing less well, the things like training and quality and excellence are sometimes seen as non-essential, and the funding gets reduced, which is a great shame. It also depends on the leader at the top of the organization. If the leader comes with a quality mindset, a quality improvement mindset, because all new leaders want to make their own mark with their own initiatives. But if they come with that mindset, they will bring in quality and excellence initiatives and really look at ways to improve things rather than just changing structures and putting in new strategies and policies. You know what? I think in all the years that I've been doing quality improvement and business excellence, it just seems to go in and out of fashion with different management trends. Sometimes it's more fashionable to be doing quality and business excellence, and sometimes it doesn't take center stage anymore. Maybe people get tired with it, or they get so tied up with the regulations inside their organization, it seems like an add-on, like a bit of a chore. But quality improvement and excellence, it's never a quick fix. I suppose it's just like lifelong learning. It needs to be embedded. It needs to be embedded as a daily working life, not a bolt-on or added extra that takes time. Otherwise, people are never going to approach it in the right way. So that's my news. Those are my opinions and thoughts. How about I now bring you my global news roundup from around the world? It is Friday, the 25th of October, and here is the latest news headlines. Enjoy.
You're listening to JFI Radio Live. Here's the latest training and learning news from around the globe.
From JFI Radio Newsroom, here are the latest global news headlines. North America. At the Industry Week Operations Leadership Summit in June this year, GE Healthcare's Sarah Tilkens, Senior Manager of Operational Excellence in the manufacturer's imaging operations, spoke about optimizing talent for operational excellence and her concept of tri-storming, explaining that whereas brainstorming is cerebral, tristorming is action-oriented and a valuable approach when developing problem solvers for operational excellence. Thinking about problems in the boardroom don't go far enough. People need to take action, she says, and do something about the problem without fear of reprisals. South America. It appears that Latin America's talent for cutting-edge AI development is often overlooked. Long perceived as a sleeping giant in tech innovation, Latin America is now wide awake, making bold strides in AI. Brazil's Sao Paulo, Mexico's Guadalajara, and Argentina's Buenos Aires are all at the forefront, nurturing ecosystems where AI flourishes, thanks to supportive governmental policies, academic rigour, and a lively startup culture. The proof of Latin America's AI prowess is in the success stories emerging from the region. Take Brazil's fintech revolution, led by companies like Nubank, using AI to democratize banking. Or Argentina's agtech innovations, where AI is being used to predict crop yields and improve sustainability. These stories not only highlight the region's capabilities, but also its commitment to using AI for social and economic betterment. Europe and the UK. UNESCO have launched 2 new guidance documents in September 2024 to guide teachers on AI and students on the use of AI in the classroom. The competency framework for students aims to help educators to integrate AI learning objects into official school curricula to prepare students to be responsible citizens in the era of AI. The competency framework for teachers defines the knowledge, skills and values teachers must master in the age of AI. In education, AI has transformed the traditional teacher-student relationship into a teacher-AI student dynamic. Africa. The Crab Island Technical Vocational Education Training Foundation has received a significant consignment of equipment worth over 200,000 dalasi from the Embassy of the People's Republic of China to the Gambia. The donated items, including printers, scanners, A4 paper and various stationery materials, were received this week. The materials are set to enhance the Foundation's capacity to deliver technical and vocational education to Gambian youth. At the handover ceremony, Usman Silla, founder and chairperson of the Crab Island TVET Foundation, highlighted the importance of technical and vocational education in building the workforce and equipping individuals with the skills necessary for the Gambia's economic development. Asia. Times Higher Education hosted a global higher education forum on the 11th to 12th of September 2024 in Baku, Azerbaijan, to discuss the role of universities in tackling the climate crisis ahead of the country hosting COP29 in November. The event was hosted in partnership with the Azerbaijan State Oil and Industry University and Sumgayit State University. The main point of discussion was around the pivotal role universities have in making climate action a core institutional objective, using their research outputs and acting as players to bring together key stakeholders as well as underrepresented groups to support the greening of industry and jobs. Phil Beatty, THE's Chief Global Affairs Officer, said Minister Amrulayev spoke of the importance of universities using data to help inform strategic decisions, and thanks go to the Azerbaijan higher education community, who have impressively embraced the challenge. The Middle East. Abu Dhabi Fund for Development has launched the second edition of its CAFAT program to help employees advance their professional and interpersonal skills. The initiative focuses on enhancing expertise in different fields to boost productivity, streamline operational processes, and promote a positive work environment that encourages creativity, innovation and teamwork. The CAFAT program features a series of interactive workshops and practical training sessions designed to build competences among ADFD employees. These efforts align with the fund's goals to strengthen job performance and support the achievement of its future strategic objectives. This year's edition of CAFAT will train 112 employees across different departments and sections, with each employee participating in 4 training courses. The focus is on developing behavioural competences. Australia and New Zealand. And finally, the Australian Business Excellence Awards represent a rich history of quality and excellence since they were first launched in 1988. Over 450 organisations have been recognised at various award levels. The Northern Territory Chamber of Commerce presented the Business Excellence Awards 2024. Alice Springs and Central Australia celebrated incredible business excellence and customer service across the region. Winners in the Outstanding Customer Service category included Individual, Desert Knowledge Australia, Small Business, Plaza Wellbeing Centre, Medium Large Business, McDonald Alice Springs, and Not-for-Profit, Santa Teresa Enterprises. Local Government, Alice Springs Town Council. That's been your Global Weekly News Roundup. Please come back and join me next week. I hope you enjoyed the news. So please, if you want me to feature some of your news that on live on JFI Radio, then please write to me. You've got the address on the screen. It says studio@jfiradio.com. And if you go to the main JFI Radio website, which is jfiradio.com, you will be able to go down to the blue button and click the links and replays, and you'll get all of the links for the stories that we featured today in the roundup. Now, in this second part of the broadcast, you can get involved in the show by typing your comments or questions in the comment section in YouTube or on the Facebook page if you're listening to me from there. If you're listening on LinkedIn, the comments don't sync with this live broadcasting platform. But if you post a comment there, I will be sure to answer it at another time. So when you do type, tell me where you're listening from so I can understand and say a big hi to you. And please just pose me a question if there is something that you would like to know. Just so that you know as well, I have a lot of back issues. I've been doing this for a very long time, 10 years in fact, or nearly 10 years. So if you go to Spotify, so it's tinyurl.com/JFIR-Spotify, you will be able to find out all of the back issues and episodes that I've done right the way back to 2015, and there are some real corkers there. So I've changed the ticker again just so that it reminds you about where to get the news reports that are there. Now, in this last part of the show today, I'm particularly interested in one of the news reports which came from Europe, which was about the 2 UNESCO AI guidance documents, especially with the last comment about the changing dynamic between educator and student. So, as I mentioned, these 2 documents were launched in September 2024. And they're guiding teachers and students on the ethical use of AI, both in curriculum design and in the classroom. And that last sentence really got to me. I'll repeat it to you. It said, in education, AI has transformed the traditional teacher-student relationship into a teacher-AI student dynamic. And that's raised a lot of questions for me. First of all, are educators ready for this shift? Now, trust me, everyone in every higher education around the world is talking about AI and how it implements and is changing the way that education, and higher education particularly, needs to operate. And many are talking about rules and regulations. Many are talking about policies. Some are talking about teaching students how to use it ethically. Everyone's going about it in a slightly different way. But are our educators ready for this shift of dynamic? After all, the traditional is teacher-student, and that relationship is based upon the premise that the teacher knows a lot of things. Now, I'm oversimplifying, obviously, so my academic colleagues, please don't shout at me. I'm just for the purpose of this. So academics always stand from that position, and the student is always looking to the faculty member, to the educator, to the tutor to give them knowledge and information. But that isn't the case anymore, is it? I know they've always been able to get to the internet, but AI is different. They're not now only looking at that faculty member, that tutor, for the information. They're going into AI, which is why the competency framework is necessary. Because, and I spoke about this a little bit last week when I was telling you about a workshop that I did in Norway, where I was talking about AI to a variety of people and saying that we need to be two things. We need to be AI curious or AI cautious, or both. AI curious and AI cautious. Cautious because a lot of students believe that everything that comes out of AI is correct and true and accurate, and we know that's not the case. So we need to re-educate them on the facts that it isn't absolutely accurate all of the time. I tell my AI off all the time and I get apologies. So there you go. But the AI curious bit is really interesting because it is about teaching students how to question and put the right prompts into AI and not just take it for what it's saying, but put and push it further and challenge it and critique it. And then you think, well, hold on a minute. Where is the teacher, tutor, faculty member in all of this? And that is my point. Now, let me just pause for a moment because I've seen that there is it a question? Oh, Enkechi, thank you. Professional buddy, you're going back about looking at the professional buddy issue that I was talking about before the news, and particularly for freelancers. It really is. And if you haven't got a professional buddy, you might want to think about having one, maybe. I think it is so important to have someone that is on your side, that is supporting you. Really important. So thank you for that, Nkechi. I'll leave that up on the screen for a moment for anyone else to just reflect upon that. So where was I? I was saying about if you've got students going into AI and they're looking at that to question and critique, then where does the teacher come in? And I think that's where that news report was coming from. It was coming from, well, the dynamic is different now because you've got the teacher, you've got AI, you've got the student. And I go back to my first question. Are educators ready for this shift? And what are HEIs, higher education institutions, doing to help them learn? Here's the magic word: quickly. Now, I have to tell you, we don't do anything quickly, particularly quickly in HEI. Everything is a process and needs to be done properly, not necessarily quickly. But on this occasion, we need to do it quickly. Why? Because AI is moving at the most phenomenal rate. If we do things at our normal pace in higher education, we are really going to miss a trick here. So what are HEIs doing to help educators make that shift, make the mindset shift, gather the knowledge, the skills, the abilities to integrate AI into their curriculum design, into their teaching, into the way that they're supporting students? And how do we ensure that we don't leave any educators behind? So I'd like to leave you with that thought. Well, I can't believe it. We have come to the end of the we've come to the end of the show again. I do love doing these. I hope you are enjoying them as much as I'm enjoying them. As I said, if you want to go back to the back episodes and listen to others, please do. If you want to join me again next time, I'll just change that ticker. There you go. Next broadcast is the 1st of November at 9 o'clock in the morning, UK time. Just make sure you need to check timeanddate.com to make sure that you get the absolute accurate time for your time zone. Thank you so very much for listening to me. I will talk to you again, same time, same place, next week on the 1st of November. Have the most amazing weekend. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for supporting JFI Radio with your subscribes on the YouTube channel. Thank you. Bye for now. JFI